All right, so this is the recording for, we're gonna do numbers 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And 15 or 16, 15 and 16 are very similar, but we're trying to stick with 5 so that we can get this done in 2 more days. Okay, so we'll do in order again, just because it makes sense. Some fashion. Okay, so start a new part and there we go. Let's do this. Okey-dokey. All right, so for 11, we're just going to keep adding until we have to cut stuff away, which I know is redundant. The way I'm going to do this okay, so let's start with, I'm going to start with sort of a this like 2 inches tall shape that is this big, and it's pretty much, I'm going to make everything that is 2 inches tall, and then we will cut out this shape and then add this top part. So the shape sort of, we're going to draw the footprint, essentially the shape that sort of would sit in the ground and extrude it up too. And because we're doing that, again, for these parts, it doesn't really matter, but since we're drawing the footprint, I'm going to start the sketch on the XZ plane. This is just a just because situation. And again, as usual, I think the more natural way of looking at things is the way that you can read the word, even though we're still looking at top. And it's all relative, of course. Okay, so the footprint is, it's a rectangle to here, and then this curved part on the outside. And the rectangle part is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wide. It's a 9 rectangle, 9 this way and 4 this way. And then we have a semicircle on the side. Let's see what we got here. We got a rectangle that we're going to make 9 wide and 4 tall. Well, it's not 4 tall. Technically, it's 4 deep. And then we need the curved part over here. And we know that this curved part it lines up perfectly with the edges, because you can see this like little faint mark, the center mark points straight out. And because those intersections are the same, we can infer that this is a like perfect semicircle. And we don't even need to dimension it. If we get a circle tool, first snap is the exact center point where it turns to green, first click, and second click is in the corner. Right click OK, and I realize I really want my, this is so inconsistent. And why does that part work, but the other part doesn't? Try again. There we go. At least there's that. Okay. You'll notice when we put the circle in that it is already fully constrained. It's already the color that it's supposed to be, and that's because we snapped it to the center, so its location is locked in, and we snapped it to the corner, so its size is locked in. there is only size and location. Okay, so this is our footprint. We're going to finish sketch. And you can see, because I started on the XZ plane, I think, that it's the footprint flat part. If you like started drawing on the front and right now yours looks like this, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. But as we're moving, this is the orientation that we're going to be working from. And you can just, orbit it around so that it looks right. So now we're going to do an extrusion and choose all of this. And this is going to be a height of 2. And that is this first part. Let's do this cutout next. Okay. So it's going to be kind of tricky, except when we start a new sketch on this surface, we're going to get an auto projected, because we have auto project edges on, we're going to get a snap to the center point. And we know that this point right here is the center of this outer part that we've already drawn. It's also the center point of this inner part. So we can use that as our snap. And then I'm going to construct this shape out of a couple of, like from this point, a circle this big, move over here, make a circle this big, and then connect them into one closed situation and cut extrude it down. Okay, so let's start a sketch on this surface. And maybe it's just my computer that's super slow. Delay. Wait, why did it work that time? I don't know if that's any better. Okay, anyway, the first part that we're going to use is we're just going to make a circle here. And the size of that circle is going to be because it's a circle, we're dimensioning by the diameter. And from this circle, the diameter is 2. So we're going to make a diameter of 2. When we go back here, we'll dimension this to 2. Okay. And then we have another to do the other side. We're doing the same thing, but we need to know the center point. The center point is straight over a distance of 3. So I could use a work point and dimension its distance and everything. It's kind of faster to just use a line. First click and snap it to horizontal. And so that it's the right distance, or it's going the right direction. We can dimension this to 3. And the only point of this is just sort of a construction line for the sake of is this working? Okay, it's working. For the sake of knowing the other center point. So we're just sort of constructing this out of several different shapes. And on the other side, we're going to make another 2-inch circle. Okay, and then we just need to close off the top. The problem is the line, yeah, I guess you get a snap from the top center to the top center. You have to kind of be careful to make sure that you get the top center. You can use like a rectangle, but as long as you're connecting, it should be fine. In fact, it's not a bad idea to just use the, come on, undo. What the heck? Yeah. So using a rectangle tool, snap it to the exact top center here and the bottom center over here. And the thing about a rectangle is a rectangle always is a closed loop. It will always let you extrude. And as long as you did the what are technically soft snaps to the top center and bottom center over here, even though it's not fully dimensioned, it's fine at this point. Okay, and so we'll finish sketch and extrude, and you need to choose everything it lets you choose. Careful not to choose the outside because you'll have to hit cancel and go again. There we go, and we'll switch it to cut and through all. So that was just the two circles that are separated by a distance of 3, and then rectangled in to show how we got that. Okay. The other part, we are going to sketch on the surface that we already have and draw a rectangle that's 4 wide and the entire distance front to back. So we're going to make a rectangle this big, which the entire distance front to back is also 4. Okay, so we're going to make a distance of 4, and then we are going to extrude it up 4. So we'll have like a big block up here and then cut away what we don't want. Okay, so let's start a sketch on this top surface. We'll get a rectangle that snaps to this back corner and then snaps to somewhere on the front edge, but not a green dot, just snap to the edge. Then we need to make this the right size, so we're going to get the dimension tool and dimension the distance between the line and the other line. Oh, wait, no, I missed. Okay, and that should be 4. So the distance of the one line. Wish I could affect the grid lines. Oh. All right, never mind. We'll solve it later. Okay, so we have a rectangle that's the entire distance front to back because I snapped on the back corner and snapped on the front edge and made it 4 inches wide. And we'll finish sketch and extrude this a distance of 4. All right, and so we just need to round over the edges and make the hole. And to round over the edges, I'm going to use the fillet tool, where we are going to choose this edge, and it will round it over. And even though this is one continuous arc, if we make the size of the fillet on this size the correct size, and this one the correct size, they will make a smooth face like it's supposed to. And the question is, what is the dimension of the radius or the dimension of the fillet? And we know, again, from these like little construction lines, these extension lines, we can see that this point right here is the center, and it's a distance of 2 in every direction, which is the radius. So we're going to get the fillet tool and click on this edge and click on this edge. And the dimension we want is 2 because it's 4 all the way across. If we make it 2, it's actually like a double fillet that smooths over. And then the last part is just a hole here, which, because we did this arc first, when we sketch on this face, we're going to get a little dot to snap to. And that's also the center point of this circle. Okay, so we're going to start a sketch on this front. We'll get a circle, snap to the center, make it about that big, and dimension it to 2. Finish sketch and extrude. And switch it to cut and through all. Hit OK. Okay, and there you go. That's number 11. Okay, so let's keep going. 12 is going to be very similar. We'll do footprint, but then we got to figure out the top part. Okay, the top part's just going to be the same except an offset. And if you didn't know what, don't know what I mean when I said that, that's fine. I don't even really know. So footprint's going to be the same as before, except with a rounded over on that side. So again, we're going to start on the XZ plane so we can draw the footprint, which is going to be a rectangle of whatever size, and then a semicircle on that side and a semicircle on that side, which we're just going to use a full circle. And the dimension of the footprint, well, we know it's 4 wide, or excuse me, technically front to back, but the distance is across is 2. So we're just drawing sort of this part. It's 2 to here, 4 more, and 2 more. So it's 8. Let's do a sketch. And again, we can start on the ground, which is XZ. And I don't know why it guesses to rotated, but either way, I'm just going to make a rectangle there, start it, snap to origin just because, make it 8 wide, 4 tall. Well, again, technically that's 4 deep. It's depth. And then we just need a circle that snaps to the center point on the side and to the corner. And we don't need to dimension it. We've given it size and location just from snaps. Size and location. And that's our footprint, finish sketch, and extrude. Extrude everything. And this is sort of that base part, so it's only a distance of 2. And I'm actually going to do I'm going to do these 2 holes first because they'll give us a nice, easy snap. For the other part, actually, the order doesn't really matter, but I will be doing these first. These are they're each 2-inch diameter circles that are 2-inch diameter each. And we know they share the same center point as this arc because those construction lines go through it. So when we go to sketch on this surface, we will get snaps or projected points that we can snap to automatically. So we just need one circle that's here and another one that's here. And dimension, these are both diameter 2. And we'll finish sketch, extrude, choose each of these and only those, and switch to cut through all, hit OK. Okay, and then the last portion, we're going to do very similarly to the other one. We're going to put a sketch on this surface. We're going to make our base, which is 4 inches wide, an entire distance front to back, and then extrude it up, and that will give us this sort of tower part that we can cut away what we don't want. So let's go ahead and sketch on here. And our rectangle needs to be entire distance front to back, needs to snap on the back edge, but make sure you're not snapping to any of the green snaps because we want it to be able to be dimensioned. First click on the back edge, second click on the front edge. And then our dimension, we know we want the distance from one of the green lines to the other to be 4. I really cannot see the situation. I don't know that that's any better. What I can't see is the gray stuff. So we know we want the distance from one line. We know we want the distance from this line to this line to be 4, but they're still green because we haven't given it any location. We know the size of the rectangle, it's 4 by 4. It's 4 this way because we snapped it to edges, but we haven't want fewer grid lines. We haven't said where it needs to go left to right. So the way we're going to do that is by dimensioning the distance from this line to this center point. And that distance is 2, which you can see, assuming these are symmetrical, there's no reason not to be. The distance from this point to this edge is 2, and that gives us a way of centering it. An easy way of centering it, at least. Okay, and we have this. Let's finish sketch and extrude. And we want to extrude this, and the height we want to extrude is 5, actually. 1, 2, it's 3 to the center point, and then 2 more to make that arc. So it's an extrusion of 5 if we're going to start by creating material and cutting away what we don't want. So make it 5 tall. And then the shape up here is the same as for number 11. We're just going to fill it off this edge and this edge to the right amount so that it makes one smooth arc. And then we just need a center hole and cut all the way through. Okay, so we fill it and choose this and choose that and set the dimension to 2. And there you go. Take that second. Okay, and then the last part, just that through hole. We'll start a sketch here. Get a circle and center point there. And dimension it to 2. Finish sketch. And extrude. Choose the circle we made, switch it to cut, and through all just because, and hit OK. And there you go. There's number 12. Line right along. Let's go. Okay, 13, 14, 15 are very similar. A couple different features are different. 14 is pretty easy, at least compared to what we've done. There's a couple of tricky things about 13, like this edge right here. The dimension of that fillet isn't 2. This fillet right here is a 1-inch fillet. After we've cut out this sort of trough, but we'll get to that. First, we need a new part file. And let's start a sketch. We're doing the footprint thing again, so let's start on the XZ. And the footprint of this, if we're going to do sort of the rectangle plus arc, same 4-inch this way. And its distance is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 7 this way, 4 this way, and arc and extruded 2 up, I think. So let's get a rectangle. Dimension. I think it's 7. I may have misread it. What's that? Yeah, we're doing footprint again. Yeah. 4 this way. And circle here to here. And what's up? What's up? I think it is 7. Is it? I'll count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 7 that way, 4 the other way with a semicircle. Finish sketch and extrude the things. Extrude a distance of 2. Okay. 2 circles here. Should be super easy. Start a sketch on the top. Get a circle. So this one's easy. We get an automatic snap to it. 2-inch circle. And the other one is another 2-inch circle, but it's 3 inches away. And again, you can use like work points and dimension it, but for this situation, it's actually easier to just draw a line 2 inches tall. It's easier to just draw a line from here and snap it to horizontal, and it will give you enough constraints to save you some time. And we're making this line just so that we can use the other end of it as the center point. And the center point is here, and it is a diameter of 2. And we can finish sketch, extrude, and choose the things that we just drew. Switch it to cut and through all. 3 inches apart. Right? And this other part, we'll just do it the same way. It's only 2 this way. The full distance front to back. And its total height, 1, 2, 3, it's 5 tall, I think. What's up? Both, how do you get these? Oh, I made a line that was 3 inches apart. Like I just used the line tool to make the other center, to find the other center point. It's just easier than using a work point and dimensioning it. Yeah. Okay, so we're sketching on the top. We're gonna get most of our edges auto projected for us. Get a rectangle from the back to the front edge. And we're only interested in the distance from there. First click, second click, third click in the middle needs to be 2. Then we can finish sketch and extrude that. And we want to extrude it a height of 5. Oh, look, I missed the this front edge. Weird. So I'm gonna edit sketch and it's not gonna snap. Let's just do, if you snapped it correctly, you don't need this step here. And that should be fine. Okay. There we go. Now it's smooth. So the parts we want to cut out, there's 2 other part features we need to do. We need to fillet off both of these. That's one. And the other one is we're going to draw on this face and make this combination of shapes and cut extrude all the way through. Let's do the fillet first. We'll get the fillet tool. What's up? 5 on that one. Okay. And so we'll get the fillet tool. We'll choose this edge and this edge, both of them. Set it to a dimension of 1. Do you need a? That's fine. Set it to a dimension of 1, and that will give us those little corners right there. And let's see what I do. And yeah, okay. So now we're going to draw on this face and we need to make this shape, which what's up? It is 1. Yes. We need to find the center point. It's a little tricky because we don't really have any snaps to use. So we'll make the center point, which is centered left to right, and or rather centered along this way. And it is a distance of 3 up. And well, we're actually going to make the circle the right size, and then we'll dimension its location. We'll give it size and location. So let's sketch here. And we need a circle that is somewhere in this area. And we can make it a diameter of 2 because that's what it's supposed to be. And then we just need to, we have the size of the circle. We need size and location, which the distance from here to the side is 2. And the distance from here to somewhere on this edge, this is that surface right there, is 3. Okay. If you do need to rotate it a little bit in order to, well, in order to get the correct location, that's fine. Wait, is that 3? That doesn't look right. Maybe it's 1, 2. Why does that look wrong? 1, 2, 3. I guess that's right. And we can just go ahead and do this all in the same move. We could cut extrude that, make another sketch, and so on. But I think it's probably easier to just get a rectangle tool, and you'll get sort of another soft snap, like due west of the center point, like, you know, at exactly, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you get soft snaps. So that's 1. And then the other one needs to be at the top edge. And actually, it's going to line up exactly with the other, like that. You'll get a snap here where the fillet ended. That's actually convenient. And then we can finish sketch and extrude all of the things that we drew. Switch it to cut through all. Did okay. And there you go. This part 13. If you're falling behind, don't worry. The replay will be up shortly, and I can help individuals momentarily. Okay, 14, a lot of the same. I'm going to just fly through this one. And same thing, footprint on XZ plane. And our footprint, again, is going to be a combination of a rectangle that is this shape plus full semicircles on the side. And the main part is a distance. Well, it's 4 front to back, obviously. And the distance, which is really the distance between these 2 center points, but like the horizontal distance, it's 2 to there. There's 3. There's 4. Another 4 makes 8. I think that's right. So it's 8 by 4 with semicircles on the side. Start a sketch. XZ. And rectangle. And dimension it. 8 wide. 4 deep. And semicircles from the center point to the corner on both. I've got 8 wide, 4 front to back, and then the circles are just I'm gonna start on XZ just because that way we're still drawing a footprint here. And
It was 6.
8 wide. Um, it's 8x4. Ooh, that might be better. Slightly. Okay, so we have 8x4 with semicircles on either side. Sorry for the delay. I am trying to make it better, obviously. Yeah, it's a slight improvement. Okay. So we have 8x4. I'd say that's an actual improvement. And let's finish sketch and we extrude. Choose everything, and this is the base. We're going to extrude it too tall. And we can do this slot area the same way with a couple center point circles and connect it with a rectangle. So we need one circle over here that is 2-inch diameter. We need another circle, which we can just use a line. Actually, we can just go and do the rectangle here. Rectangle from this top corner to, you'll see, even though my cursor is over here, you can see in the bottom left. If I kind of go so that the height is the same height as the circle, I still get a soft snap there to line up with the circle, which is what I want. And then I just need to dimension the distance between this side of the rectangle and this side of the rectangle. So 3 clicks. And that distance is 4, actually. There's 4 between here and here. And the only reason I'm using the rectangle is because, well, okay, so we drew this circle and I'm drawing this rectangle because then I can use this center point as the center point for another circle. Plus, I need to cut out the entire thing, so it's all useful. And so we need another circle, and we will get a snap to the exact center point of this side of the rectangle. First click and second click on this one. And even though it's still green, normally that wouldn't be good because you want things fully constrained. You see it says 2 dimensions needed. That's why they're still green. I'm just going to leave it. Usually we want to make sure it says fully constrained, but because we got soft snaps and we're pretty much done with it, it's fine. We'll finish sketch, extrude, choose, 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 choose. I missed one. Switch it to cut and through all. Hit OK. And the last portion, pretty easy. We are going to start a sketch here. And it's a circle that lines up perfectly, which you can tell because of the way these center marks are, that this is the center point for both the outer part and the inner part. And the outer part shares this edge all the way around. So we just need to put a circle from this center point and snap it to anywhere on the edge, and it will be the right size. So we'll go circle, snap to center point, snap to edge. What's up? There we go. Okay, unmuted. So all I did was put a sketch on this top, and because we have that setting, auto project edges and for sketch creation edit, we get this snap, which is what we've been getting the whole time. I don't know why I'm filling you in on this. But with a circle, same center point here, first click and second click somewhere on the edge over there, finish sketch, extrude, choose this thing, and we want to extrude it up however far past what we already have. We're already sketching on this surface. And so the distance from here to the top is 1, 2, 3. It's 4 higher than what we already have, which is why we're going to type in 4. There you go. And then the center hole, same thing. We know it's centered on we're going to sketch on this surface, and our circle is going to have the same center point as the outer edge. And you could tell because of these construction lines, or technically center point lines, but because there's only one center point, you know that it goes through all of them. And this circle is going to be diameter of 2. So we'll just sketch on this surface here and get a circle and dimension it to diameter 2. And we'll finish sketch, extrude, choose this, switch it to cut, and through all. There you go. That's number 14, I think. And the last one for today. This one is a little bit complicated because there's a lot of sort of small finicky portions. And 16 is similar, but we aren't going to do 16 today. We'll do 16 next time. So, of course, start with a new part. And well, there's a lot going on. Let's start with sort of this bottom bracket shape. And we'll just start with a little I don't know, credit card shaped thing that's 1 inch tall. Its distance left to right is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10 wide, 1 tall, 10 wide, and its distance front to back is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need a block that's 1 by 10 by 6. If you draw on the front face, it would be 1 by 10, extrude 6. And if you draw in the footprint, it would be 10 by 6, extrude 1. If your goal is to put this sort of bracket as a footprint. I'm actually going to draw on the front. Again, for this, it really doesn't matter, but it's fine. I'm going to draw on the XY plane and make a small rectangle, the sort of face of that, the front face of the credit card shaped bracket, which is only 1 tall and the full 10 wide. And then we're going to finish sketch and extrude everything. The only thing we have so far, we're going to extrude it a distance of 6, not 65, 6. Okay. And here we have our front, or our little bracket. Okay, so part features, the other things we need to do, we need to fillet these 2 front corners. These are rounded over corners. And we need to make 3 holes that are 1 inch diameter each. It's a little strange, but you can see the center mark. The center mark for these circles is actually in the middle of a grid. Like if you count from where this connects over, it is exactly 1.5 in. all of these isometric grids and their construction lines or center mark lines and the actual object lines, it's not ideal. Again, after this is probably third or fourth copy of generation of photocopying before it became digitized. So we are sort of stuck. At least it won't get any worse. Just take my word for it. These circles are all 1 inch diameter, but they are 1.5 in from their sides. This one is 1.5 in from all of these sides. But what's nice is if we do the fillet first, if we do the fillet first, when we go to make the sketch on this to draw the circles, the sketch will take the fillet and give us a center point, which that center point is actually the center point for the hole. Same thing on this side. When we fillet this off, it'll be rounded. We go to make a sketch, it will give us a snap, the center point. So we won't actually need to dimension the location of these circles. We will just need to give it size. This one still doesn't have anywhere to snap to, so it's still going to be size and location. But the first one will be the first two will be a freebie. So let's just go ahead and get the fillet tool. And the edges we want to fillet are these tiny vertical ones, that one and that one. And if we do them both, they'll have the same dimension. And the dimension that we want is, like I said, 1.5. These lines that stick out past are construction lines, or again, center mark lines. Yeah, take this. Go for it. And they show us where the center point is. And if you count through, it's 1.5. 1.5. And there we go. So we have our front edges. And now, like I said, we can just start a sketch on the top of this and rotate it this way. Yeah.
Is it like cutting to this piece, or is
It depends. But you're extruding it far enough so that it goes into it, but not through. Do you have the replay up?
No,
Do you have a Chromebook?
I do have.
That's the best. Put one on one in the other. There you go. Okay, so like I said, and I'm happy I wasn't mistaken, they didn't change it. We get this snap here, which will make it easy. We just need one circle on this side. That is 1.5, which will make the circle and dimension it. Oh, excuse me, the diameter of the circle is only 1. My mistake. But did you notice, and this has been happening the whole time, but now you can benefit from it. If you see how right there in the middle, there's that text field that it's really small on the projector. Yay for high resolution, or on the screen. But right now it says 1.793, and now it says 2 point whatever. If you don't click to set the circle, like you just click to start the circle where you want it, which will be a green snap. Before you click to set it, you can just type 1.5 and hit enter, and it will finish the circle and give it the dimension in one move. Except again, I'm wrong. It's 1. So yeah, it's only useful if you do it correctly. Okay. Yeah. So we need circles that are each 1 inch diameter and share the same center point as the fillets. And I'm going to put this. It's the 2 front corners. Okay. You got to look at it from a 3D. She isn't, I'm talking to her. All right. So we could finish sketch and cut extrude these, but because this circle is the same, this other hole is the same. Well, it's the same size circle, but that's not the point. The point is it's still a cut extrusion from the same sketch plane and everything. We might as well do it in the same part feature. So back here, we need another 1 inch circle, but we will need to give it location since we didn't get a snap to the point. And its location is 1.5 from the side and 1.5 from the back. So first step, I'm just going to make the 1 inch circle. roughly in the correct location. And then we need to dimension its front to back dimension, and we need to dimension its left to right dimension. So the distance, the dimension tool from the center of the circle to the back of everything is 1.5. And you can see it's still green, and that's because we haven't dimensioned its left and right dimension. If you grab the circle and try to move it front to back, it won't move at all front to back, but it will move left to right. That's one way to find out which is the one dimension you need. And the one dimension I need is the distance from the center point of the circle to the side of everything, and that too should be 1.5. And now it's blue or black or whatever that color is. And so I have everything is fully constrained. All three circles have size and location. And we'll finish sketch and extrude. And choose this circle and choose that circle and choose that circle. Switch it to cut and through all and hit OK. Okie dokie. So this last portion is kind of tricky. Well, it's not tricky once you know how to do it. We're going to draw a footprint on this face here that is going to be 2 by 4 and extrude it up whatever the total height is. We aren't going to worry about this edge here because this sloped face right here is a fillet, even though it's sort of an interior edge. So far, we've only filleted outside edges that made it round over. Here, we're going to fillet an inside edge, and it's actually going to create material, but more on that later. Right now, we just need a rectangle that snaps to this back corner, is 2 inches this way, and is 4 inches this way. So we're going to make a rectangle 2 by 4, 4 by 2, and extrude it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Counting like my 3-year-old. 1, 2, 14, 16. And rectangle, snap to there. Snap to just make the rectangle. Finish sketch. This distance is 4. This distance is 2. You know what? I'm going to go back and set this to, do I have to switch this every time? Maybe that's better. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do this every time. It's enough. It's worth it to do it every time. Okay, so we have a rectangle that's 4 by 2. Snap to the back corner. We'll finish sketch and extrude it a height of 6. Okay, and the way we're gonna make this, I said it a second ago. The way we're gonna make this edge right here, or rather this sloped, this ramp, is we're just going to get the fillet tool, but we're going to fillet this inside angle, this interior angle, and it's going to create material. It's going to fill in. It's going to fillet. That's not where the word comes from. It's going to fillet this edge, which let's figure out what the dimension is. You can see these, hopefully you can see these tiny little marks here. These tiny little marks are the center marks for this arc. And the distance from that center mark to the arc is 2. So, and this one back here is just for the back of it to make the arc. Whoop, whoop. And there would be a line here. Never mind. So the diameter, excuse me, the dimension, which is technically the radius, not technically, it is literally the radius, is 2. And then the top part, we can continue with our awesome filleting of the top edge, which, because it's a smooth surface, we know that it's 4 across, which is the same thing as before, where we make a 2-inch radius fillet and a 2-inch radius fillet, and it smooths it over. And then we'll put a sketch on the front and make our circle with the same center mark, diameter 2, and cut extruded all the way back. I'll do that real fast. So we need a fillet this edge and this edge. And it still says diameter 2, good. And we'll start a sketch on the front. Get a circle, put a circle on, and dimension, put a dimension on, and finish sketch, extrude, choose this, switch it to cut, through all, hit OK, and there you go, number 15. Let's do arrange. There you go. How exciting. Okay, that's where we'll end it, and I'll put this up as soon as it's ready to go.